Infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the essence of my voice. I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense offered to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dressed and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offering in spectacular array offered to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done, whether my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I let my heart rejoice in all the merits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the world in 10 directions, who attain the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostration, offering, confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas did teach, and now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Okay, the mantle offering is a gesture of, say, accumulating merit. Let's say this. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Okay, the next set of the requests is very important. Next set. This will teach us what are the 4 important points that we should not miss in our practice or daily practice. If you want to practice to make yourself fearless, eventually to attract the infinite happiness, then these are the 4 points. Just condense everything, all what you should be practicing in these 4 points. Let us see. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps into existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as vicious and repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have had an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Okay, the next, the foundation of all good qualities. 14 stanzas are there, and these 14 stanzas incorporate all the practices. All the practices and all these huge books, all these huge volumes, hundreds and hundreds of volumes. If you know these 14 stanzas, you know all these volumes, you know all these studies. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind of perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Then by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great question arise. The root of teaching is keeping the pradimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so fall mother my creature beings. Please bless me to see this 20 Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing my creature beings. Even if a developed bodhicitta paradrome practice the three types of morality are not achieved enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding, especially inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pleasures like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all out and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, to enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stations and the paths, may I will attain this state of Vajradhara. Okay, let us sing this stanza. This stanza is in praise of the Laban Tsongkhapa, one of the very rare gems of the literary world in Tibet, and whose contributions pertaining to the wisdom of emptiness is just outstanding. And we have been so blessed that somebody, such an enlightened one, Laban Tsongkhapa, was born in Tibet, where he's able to pass on this legacy of the wisdom of emptiness. So till the point, Laban Tsongkhapa was where the emphasis on emptiness was not as rigorous. So with him appearing, then he put this emphasis, the need to understand emptiness. And then now, because of his legacies, we see that this is the whole import of the Buddha's teachings, the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so as we recite this, we skip the 3rd line, not for any other reason. It is the meaning is down there. Skip the 3rd line in order to suit with the melody. That's it. Okay, we'll say this together. First, we'll say the English. Just for information, this praise was initially written by Lama Tsongkhapa himself for his teacher, not for himself. He wrote it for his teacher, and the teacher read this praise. And the praise sees his teacher in the light of the 3 exalted beings: Manjushri, the treasure of the wisdom; Avalokiteshvara, the treasure of compassion; and Vajrapani, the treasure of the power. So these 3, anybody who has these 3 qualities, the perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power, you then become very competent to benefit all beings. So this is how we're able to benefit all beings, by perfecting these 3 qualities. So he equated his teacher with these 3 enlightened beings. And the teacher read this and then removed his own name and replaced his name with his student's name, saying that this praise suits better with you than me, and give it back to the student. And then it became highly blessed prayer, which is being said all over Tibet widely. Okay, let's say this, the English translation first. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-reverential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages, the land of snows, Lobsang Tapa, at your feet I make prostrations. Okay, next generating the Madhu Yoga. So this is the main practice. For that matter, the now from here point here is more like the meditations. So it has 4 parts. One is the single point of meditation. Number 2 is renunciation. Number 3 is bodhicitta. Number 4 is the wisdom of emptiness. The 4 points. So if somehow, if you design, if you if you seek total fearlessness and if you seek infinite happiness, then these 4 practices must be incorporated on a daily basis. As I said earlier, it's going to be a cumulative effect. We're not to expect these 2 things happening overnight. It's a cumulative effect, which means that every day something should happen with these 4. And why these 4? Why these 4? This question. Why these 4? Finally, what we learned is that this journey where the fearlessness is within us, the potential, the perfect potential of fearlessness within us, and the perfect potential of the infinite happiness also within us. So now, why the fearlessness is not coming? Because we are constantly meeting with fears, is because the obstructions, the mental defilements are there to obstruct this fearlessness within the mind. What is that obstruction? Afflictive obscurations. And afflictive obscurations, how many kinds are there? 3. What are they? We learned it 1 year ago, right? Afflictions, contaminated karmas, and the active seeds. Very good. Okay, afflictive obscurations, there are 3. Afflictions, contaminated karmas, and the active seeds. So these 3. Now, all these 3 at the root is the self-grasping ignorance. Let's not forget this. Ignorance itself is affliction, but the affliction that we mentioned there is, say, if you take the self-grasping ignorance separately, then the other afflictions become the gross ones. The subtlest of the affliction is the self-grasping ignorance. So the ignorance, how to get rid of ignorance? Only if you get rid of the ignorance, then all the afflictive obscurations will go away and your fear is gone. So they say there's a tree with millions of poisonous tree growing, the poisonous leaves growing there, and the wind blowing through this tree hits your body, and you have the skin rashes. So this, if you don't want skin rashes, so you have to remove the leaves. If you chop the tree from the top, the leaves are gone. But then again, after 1 or 2 months, again the leaves will grow. So it's just a respite. It's not an ultimate solution. So what should we do? The wise person will uproot the tree. Uproot. Uproot meaning, say, identify the root and then remove it. Remove that. So we see that all these afflictive obscurations which are creating fear in us. So the root is this self-grasping ignorance. Get rid of this root, self-grasping ignorance. How to get rid of this root, self-grasping ignorance? Wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness. The wisdom of emptiness. So, what we need is also 4 points that we need to incorporate within our day-to-day practice. The wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom of emptiness is like the light to dispel the darkness. But the light must be very bright. The wisdom must be very bright to know the reality. At the same time, the wisdom must be very steady. If the light is flickery, it doesn't serve the purpose for us to read books. So the light, not only bright, it must be very steady. So the steadiness of the mind, the wisdom, the mind, while it knows the reality, this mind also must have the quality, the attribute of the stability. Must build the stability. So this for the stability, we need the single-pointed meditation to build that. We have to do that separately. So the wisdom, then what? Single-pointed meditation. Point number two. Then the point is that finally we want to cultivate this wisdom for yourself or for all beings. If you want to cultivate it for yourself, at the most it can eradicate your fears. That's it. But you will not have the expansive happiness. What do you want? You want to get rid of fear alone, or you want to get rid of fear plus have the infinite happiness? What do you want? Both. If you want both, no choice other than to expand out of the infinite happiness is attracted by the infinite love. So we have to cultivate the infinite love. And the most refined version of the love is bodhicitta. So practice bodhicitta. Number three. And bodhicitta, the ground. Bodhicitta, love for the sentient beings. This love, very intense love. In order to feel that, you should know how to love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, if you're not rich yourself, if you don't have a gold yourself, how can you export gold? Right? If you don't have gold yourself, how can you export gold? If you don't have the love yourself, how can you export love to others? So we must know how to cultivate love within yourself. Now, this love that you're cultivating yourself, this love for yourself, because you love yourself, you want to get rid of all the problems. So I want to renounce the miseries. For that, we need to have the renunciation. For others, bodhicitta. For yourself, renunciation. You getting it? So these are the 4 points. If you have these 4 points as a part of your daily practice, your life becomes very meaningful. The day becomes very meaningful. So for somebody who is very seriously into working to acquire the state of the fearlessness and to have the state of the infinite happiness, these are the 4 points that we have to practice. What are they? First, the wisdom. Wisdom must be supported by the single-point meditation. Then for the driving force, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta must be grounded on the renunciation. These 4 points must be there. Okay, so as a part of this practice, what we do today, I don't know how much we can do. Okay, as a part of this practice, what we're going to do is first the meditation, single-point meditation. You ready? Okay, raise your hands. Those who have no exposure to any form of meditation, raise your hands. Raise your hands. Okay, which means that we all have some form of experience of meditation. Very good. Okay, I'm good. Because that you already exposed to meditation, I'm going to give the instruction very quickly. Very quickly. 4 points. Body posture, focal point, identifying the errors of meditation, and applying the remedies. Let me see this again. Body posture, focal point, identifying the errors and the mistakes of meditation, and applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Okay, 4 points. Number 1, body posture. Body posture, say, if possible, we need to learn how to sit cross-legged. Okay, how many of you feel comfortable sitting cross-legged? Which is like the left foot on your right leg and the right foot on your left leg. How many of you are comfortable with this? 1. Okay, how many of you are comfortable with this posture? Okay, 2. Yes. Okay. So this posture is very helpful. If you want to sit for meditation for a long period of time, then this posture is extremely important. And if you don't know how to sit in this position, you can try. And initially it's going to be a little painful. The moment you start feeling the pain, you can release your legs. When the pain is gone, again bring it back. So then you will get used to it. Okay, whereas if you have knee problem, knee surgery and so forth, don't force yourself. It is not necessary. Only if you sit like this, then you can meditate. Otherwise not. This is not true. You can sit on the chair, you can meditate. You can lie down, you can meditate. But lying down and meditating, many of you want to do that. Right? If a choice is given, sit upright, meditate, sit on the chair, meditate, lie down and meditate, you will say lie down and meditate. 2 things happening together. No, sorry, lying down meditation, in mostly 90% of the people cannot do it. The moment you lie down is the psychophysical mechanism where you tend to fall asleep. This is a tendency. Your mind will go to become dull. Okay, but at a later stage you can do it. Later, not now. So the best thing is, if your body is fit, then you can sit cross-legged. If you have some backache problem, knee problem, so forth, you can sit in a chair. There's no problem. One. Then the body upright. Body upright. This is very important. Never ever sit like this. Right? Never ever learn this way of sitting. You see a difference sitting like this and sitting like this. There's a difference, right? And sitting like this can also become a habit. It's very comfortable, but it's terrible position. So always learn how to sit upright. Sit upright, but very relaxed, not rigid. It should be flexible. Okay. Then the next is your head tilted forward a little bit, and the next point, very important, eyes not closed. Eyes not closed. Many people, they say, okay, we're going to do meditation, eyes closed. No, this is not a good idea. And I'm not going to go into detail. Eyes closed is very dangerous. Do meditation with eyes closed is very dangerous. Okay, I'm saying this much. And how dangerous? You want to ask, you can ask me later, not now. Okay, so eyes half open, 45 degrees cast down. And then later on, when you become expert in meditation, then you can do meditation with eyes closed. At times, there are very specific meditations where deliberately you make things dark. Close all the windows, doors, everything complete dark, and do the darkness meditation. There are special meditations like this. That is very different when you become expert, not now. Okay. Then the next one is tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in the mouth. And keep your teeth and lips in their natural course. Breathe naturally. Don't force your breath. Don't control your breath. Just let the breath flow naturally. Right hand on your left hand with the tips of the two thumbs joining and the two thumbs standing, forming triangle. Place the two hands on your laps in restful state. Okay, this is your body posture. Number two is focal point. Focal point, what are you going to meditate? So there are so many versions of single point meditation. In fact, like hundreds and thousands of the year. What we're going to do is a very simple one. Very simple, yet very effective. What we do is we visualize a very tiny dot. Tiny, not black. Tiny white dot. Like the size of half the size, this size. 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter. So that tiny dot between your nose and upper lip. Okay, touch this spot. Touch the spot between nose and upper lip. This is the position where you're going to meditate. Your eyes are not looking at it. Your eyes will not look at it. Only your mental consciousness is going to look at it. Mental consciousness, the imagination. That is going to visualize this tiny white dot between nose and upper lip. With multitasking, while you focus your mind on this tiny dot, we count the breath. Two things happening together. Quite challenging. Two things happening together. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. This is what we're going to do for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. In some cases it can be like 100 cycles. Others 80 cycles. It should not be more than like 150 cycles. If 150 cycles happening, we need to have a physical checkup, right? It can be the health issues. Okay, between like 60, 70 till the 100 or 105, 110. Okay, this is your focal point. What is number 3? Identifying the errors of meditation. Identifying the problems of meditation. Okay, there are two problems, there are two errors. One is mental excitement and the other one is mental laxity. Mental excitement is overactivity of the mind. And mental laxity is the mind becoming dull and heavy. So these are the two problems. If these two problems happen and still you are sitting like this, no point, it's just waste of time. Right? And outside people may see that you are meditating. Actually, you're not meditating. You're getting it? This is like a self-deception. So the best thing is, if these things happen, then you go for number 4. What is number 4? Okay, solutions, or applying the remedies to overcome the errors. Applying the remedies. Remedies 2, right? Remedies 2, I'm just saying in a very generic form. Very generic form. For the specific problems, we have to go to the very specific remedies. So in general, remedies 2, introspection and mindfulness. Introspection and mindfulness. Introspection, for example, if you have a pet dog, your pet dog should sit next to you. Your mind is like your meditating mind, the mind we should be meditating. This is like the pet dog. It should sit where you instruct it to sit. When should it sit? It should sit between your nose and upper lip. And it should do what? It should count the breath. This is the job of this mind. And this pet dog, the mind which is like the pet dog, instead of doing the job, it starts to sleep or it starts to run away. When that happens, first to see whether the mind is doing its job, we apply the introspection. Introspection is like a spy, right? Your pet dog, if you lose a pet dog, what do? You go first, you go and search the pet dog. That is the introspection. So your mind, to see whether the mind is still meditating or is already distracted or is already falling asleep, you have to check it. So how we checking that is the introspection or the vigilance. 1. Once you find the dog, the job of the introspection is done. Next is the job of the robe-like mindfulness. Once you find the dog, then to tie the dog with the rope and bring it home and tie to the pillar to home. Likewise, you find your mind distracted or sleeping, then with the help of mindfulness, the job of introspection is done. Next is the job of the mindfulness. The job of mindfulness is like the rope, tie the mind with the mindfulness and bring it back to the pillar, intended object of the meditation. Bring it back and let it meditate. Okay, these are 4 points. Ready? 5 minutes.